this life would be easy. A wide open road with the radio on. With full tank of gas, the windows rolled down, singing my favorite song. With a summer breeze rolling through my hair, not a care in the world, and a clear blue sky. Out here having fun, soaking up the sun, speeding toward a happy and carefree life. But sometimes you come to a fork in the road. Sometimes you stop, don't know which way to go. But you gotta keep on driving, chase that horizon, stop all your crying and find a way to a place where it all makes sense. 'Cause where your heart's leading you ain't no accident. Look your worries right in the eyes and say, not this time. This time I'm gonna win. Starting today, you can't stop fate, so go find a way. Go find a way. Walk through fire if you have to, climb every mountain, swim every sea. Turn over every rock on your journey, 'cause nothing is free. Pain will always find your weakness, it'll do anything just to keep you down. So don't let your problems steal your strength, get yourself off the ground. And when they say that it can't be done, that's the moment you need to step up and keep on driving. Chase that horizon, stop all your crying, find a way to a place where it all makes sense. 'Cause where your heart's leading you ain't no accident. You gotta keep on trying, go down fighting, keep on rising and find a way to a life unafraid. Go out there and live your destiny. Look your worries right in the eyes and say, not this time. This time I'm gonna win. Today's a new day and you can't stop fate. Today's a new day and you can't stop fate. So go find a way. Yeah, go find a way. Go find a way. Go find a way.
All right, there, kids.
Here we are.
Why do you always
Here
say,
we are.
Here we are.
Well,
where
just,
do you think we are?
Well, that's it. Well, we're at Studio 67. Just in case,
yeah,
you know,
that's
with
right.
the AI technology out there, this is who we are, because they wouldn't start the show like that.
Yeah, that's right, Kinsman. So I'm having some little bit of fun with the iPad here because Dawn was in the office.
Yes.
You saw the difference of work ethic between us, did you not?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry.
We love Kinsman, but Kinsman's more of our welcoming the guests.
Yes.
Well, I sweat and grind over getting
Sweat
the show
and
ready.
grind.
I
and,
seen how hard
he's,
you work,
he's our
Jamie.
IT.
Yeah.
Klomp's the IT guy.
Yeah, that's right. But
when it comes to this stuff.
we left him by himself last night. Did a pretty good job, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
We held the fort down A-OK last night,
There
Ronnie
we
and
go.
I.
So,
And
a pretty impactful story tonight, Mark, with this man here who we've come like many people, come to love and respect for all the work he does in the community and bring us a lot of fun.
Brings us a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, with our hashtag and our sign, Mini Pot Fun, you know, the Mini Pot and batting cages. Of course, the other night, you know, a devastating phone call and message to wake up to.
Absolutely.
Finding out that your trailer, the nerve center of the
Yes.
Mini Pot and batting cages was
That's
on
right.
fire.
The nerve center, yes. It sure struck a nerve that morning when I found out exactly what was happening.
I bet.
I was quite shocked and almost in disbelief. It's like I'm watching a video and I'm going, that can't be. And the realization's kicking in really quick. Oh my God, no, can't be. And like, I'm not even sure what to say, right? You know, you're just in shock, and then you start asking 50,000 questions to yourself. But you know, the first thing you got to do is you got to get to the business to see if this is really real.
Right.
And if so, how bad is it? Well, you know, I was shocked when I seen it. It's like, wow, here we go. The whole thing, not just partial, but everything.
Like that whole trailer is gone.
Every content item gone. And then I knew my position I was in. I said, you know, that's where the shock. How do I solve this problem, right? What am I going to do? I have commitments. And, you know, I'm the type of person, you know, I don't really, you know, tears don't fall or nothing like that. And my mind just goes into how do I solve this? What am I going to do? And you start hoping that you come up with solutions. And then people started calling me and texting me. And the whole day was just sort of in disbelief. I just couldn't believe that people contacted me trying to help. Because I'm not used to that, right? I try to do most things myself and work through most of my issues myself. And boy, what a community at times. It's quite breathtaking. And, you know, and just to let the public know, in reference to the incident, it's not completely resolved as of yet. They are still doing an investigation. So that's just out there. The investigation is still on as to the cause of the fire and so on. And somebody started, Mel Benoit started a GoFundMe. I was shocked early in the morning. I couldn't believe that had already started. I'm not even quite familiar with the GoFundMe myself, except for during the truckers, right? You know, the GoFundMe issue. Yeah. So, and all I know is at that point I had many more phone calls going on, and of course getting interviewed, different people and so on. And it's just not that it took my breath away, but it's just a lot to take in. Because while you're trying just to grasp on what you're going to do, while people are concerned and sincere and say, you know, wow, you must be devastated because I'm hurt watching this place burn or seeing it burn. We were there when we were, you know, 25, 30 years ago, and it was part of our family, part of our charity organizations that came up. Everybody loved their memories of it because it's always... It's just a ball and a putter, a bat and ball. But when you're there with your family and friends...
Lots of memories are made.
Yep. And in the end, that's all we have are our memories. And over the day, last day, well, including today, I've heard a lot of stories. And it's quite amazing. Quite amazing.
So I want to pause for a second because Ronnie's over there posting these comments. And they're all from overwhelming support, appreciation,
all the love coming in,
love, talking about, you know, your great character.
Thanks.
This obviously this is a tremendous, like a horrible thing that's happened.
Yes.
But the outpouring of community support must give you a sense of, okay, let's rebuild and let's get back going. Is this where your mind's at right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because here I'm thinking, well, I guess it'll be till next year if I can possibly reopen and so on. And here I am, possibly opening this weekend.
Right.
With the incredible help. And it's like, here I'm thinking 2-3 months or possibly early next year. And I actually may be able to open temporarily, just with the mini putt. and actually have it going this weekend and trying to remind people, yes, I had a bad incident and it's horrible, but we're not gone.
No, like
We're going to be like the phoenix. We're going to come from the ashes, and it's going to be a whole new business in a sense. And I'm going to make it special because so many people are wanting to contribute labor, dollars, just kind words. And sometimes for me, the kind words and the expression of what people were telling me over the years, because you don't realize the effect you have. Just being nice to somebody's child, right? And as they grow up, they come up. And the words
and they
just,
remember you.
oh yeah, and
Just like
when
my
I
little
hear
guy,
all of
he
that,
remembers the magic ball behind the ear every round.
he does,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he asks you every time we're there.
Yeah, it's
Right?
real. It was true. The ball was right here.
That's right. The whole time.
So
That's right, all the time.
So the entrance, the shack, I'll call it. You probably,
the
probably
shack,
have a
yeah.
better term.
The trailer.
The
club.
trailer. Kinsman always likes to correct me. You know, the trailer. Ronnie had, what was Ronnie's slogan? Save the shack?
Save the shack.
No, it was
save
something
the
better
Bring,
than
bring
that.
the shack back.
Okay, bring back the shack. But tell us a little bit about what you lost. Obviously, the whole shack is gone.
Yes.
What type of contents inside are gone?
Well, the snow cone machine, all the putters, the balls, the contents that actually make the game possible. Fridge, drink supplies, and it just goes on and
All
on.
your scorecards.
Oh,
Pencils,
pencils,
pens,
pens,
yeah.
all the little things you just take for granted. You open every morning and everything's there, and away you go. And you don't even usually put a price to it. It's just part of doing business. But when you have something like that, and now,
You sit back and reflect.
yeah,
on
and you're going, okay, oh geez, as you're going through the wreckage and you're looking, oh yeah, oh my God, look at that, and so on. Then you're realizing, oh, there's a lot to a little thing, to a little business to make it happen. Just as I come to your awesome little studio here, and all the things that are involved. It's not just, oh, sit down and here's your mic.
No,
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things behind the scenes.
So all the content in the shack completely gone.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Gone.
I want you to answer a question for me. So a lot of people on top of the well wishers are saying, well, I hope he had insurance. Will insurance cover this?
Well, I did have liability insurance, which is the most important. If somebody was to get hurt on the premise,
Yeah.
we're all protected, and that person is also protected that comes up to the establishment. But over the years, it's always had issues with break-ins and so on.
Yeah.
And ever since 9/11, the insurance went way up for liability issues. Everybody remembers that.
Yeah.
And at that point, it basically went to, well, I'll do what I got to do. If I have to make a claim every 2-3 years for a couple $1,000s of stolen items and damage, well, I'm not going to be around long just trying to pay a huge liability
No kidding.
insurance clause. So, yeah, so unfortunately, and I was up front, it's not always, it's not that I'm proud to say I didn't have insurance for contents, but there were reasons for that. It's not just something, oh, I'll try to save some money. No, it had nothing to do with that. It was more about keeping afloat.
Yeah.
And that's really the honest truth.
Well,
Keeping
especially
afloat.
after a
Costs
couple
are-
couple years of being closed due to the C word we stay away from
That's it.
Oh, yes.
on the show and just
wanna make
starting
some
to
money.
rebound. Now I've seen a great well, I've seen many great comments. But there's one from Ashley I'd like Ronnie to bring up, and multiple people have made a similar comment, by the way.
Here she
People
says.
should show up this weekend with anything to help, wood, drywall, putters, whatever. That would be great to come together.
They sure
So
would.
two big things there. I think you
Yes.
can tell me if I'm right. It would be pretty awesome. Like people are willing to volunteer and help come rebuild the shack.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That is super. But to get you going this weekend, you're going to need some putters.
Need
right?
some
Yeah,
putters.
that's right. If somebody has
Yeah.
a spare putter, just
Used putters lying around.
Yeah, exactly. That would be awesome.
Golf
Because
balls.
currently, I'm going to be placing an order, but they may not come in on time. But to get things going, if somebody has a spare putter, hey, if you have a favorite putter, bring it on out. Play the game.
Except
enjoy yourself.
Kinsman, because he's not very good. His putter can stay at home.
My putter can stay at home. But what if someone wanted to come? When you do open this weekend, should we say if or?
It's still, I would say I'm
So
going to say an
50-50 right now?
80% chance
Okay.
that I'm pretty determined once I make my mind up. We're making sure it would only open if it's safe to the public.
Safe to the
number
public.
one. We've already removed the building. As of today, I had a very generous contractor help out. Moved his schedule around. I think it was Bernard Renovation Servicing. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
apologize. I just met the man today, and fantastic. So we got the building removed, still cleanup to occur tomorrow. Then I have to make everything safe and put a plan together of where we're going to operate from for Saturday morning. And that's still in the plans. And that's all I can really
What
say
if
there.
people brought their own
Well,
putter and a ball?
Hold on a second, because
donated putters.
we got a couple folks talking about donations here, Mark.
Yeah, Myra says donations of used putters. People must have some laying
Yeah.
around. I know the Owen Riggs of the world
Well,
are going to be
yes.
out there.
Jason Dennis has a
Grabbing
comment.
some
One up in there,
putters.
Ronnie. One up.
There's Jason.
Up, Ronnie. There
there's
we
it.
go.
So the Northern Ontario Expo have putters and balls that we can
So
lend for the weekend.
So you got a lot of people willing to help out here. So what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you to offer their services for we don't lose any of these amazing comments? Is it a phone call? Is it an email? And our good man Ronnie will post it on the screen for you.
Well, there's a couple of ways to do it. I think the best way is to be direct, and that's with a direct call to me.
Okay.
And I'll give you the number as follows. So grab your pen, papers.
Ronnie's going to
Pen
post
and
it.
paper.
Oh, he's going to
Yes.
post it.
Grab
Okay.
your
All right.
keyboard
Yeah.
and type away,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Okay.
There it is.
705 is the area code. 264-7888. And just in case you have a hard time remembering, 264-PUT 7888. That's the official number.
264.
PUT.
That's not bad.
I like
That's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that. So that's the way, because we are seeing, like, once again, a tremendous outpour of people either willing to volunteer, come help, or help come mini putt this weekend, or
Yeah.
whenever you're open, because
That's right.
it is a staple mark in this community. I went on my first date with my wife to be now, and she's had a bunch of kids, so I got you to blame for that. There, but you know,
Happens all the time.
But it is a big date night, family night,
is,
friend
yeah.
night,
It's fun.
work
It is.
night. We need mini putt in this community.
Well, that's the one thing about miniature golf or something along those lines. You actually get to know the person you're with. You get to see how they are when they lose or just misplay.
Or waiting too long.
Or waiting too long,
In
how's
between
their
holes.
personalities,
Yes.
If you get 4 or 5 hole-in-ones in a row, is she really upset? Of course they
Right.
are. Of course they
Yeah,
are.
of course they are.
But, hey, you'll get better, just keep practicing.
Right.
But it's an awesome place for
So Sandra's asking, what will the hours be this weekend? So one, you're still trying to get there to make sure you're open.
Yes.
Let's just say the sky's part and everything's beautiful and you can open up this weekend.
What's
Would you
the
be
time?
regular working hours? Have you thought that far ahead? I know there's
Not
lots
really,
happening
but
right now,
just quickly, we always try to be there for 10 a.m. to be opened. And we'll probably still try to maintain that. So if you want to come out early, it's just that we are getting a little bit cooler. Definitely by 12 noon, right? It's awesome
You're good to
weather.
go.
Yeah, everybody's good to go by 12 noon. Nice warm weather. But most likely, I'll definitely be there. I've been early all year, and most likely I'll be there. Gates opened, 10 a.m. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to be set up yet, to disperse the putters, the balls, and/or watch you bring your putter in and ball.
Yeah, bring your own butter
Yeah,
if
bring
you,
your
if you
own
need
putter
it
and
to.
ball.
Yeah.
Hey. And but we will be opened at, I would say, at this moment, normal hours, unless there's a change, safety issues or anything like that. Then I'll make sure I update the public.
So as any other part of the mini putt course, batting cages, splash pad, is that still operational?
No, unfortunately, at this current time, they all require power,
Okay.
and we're not going to have power available at this moment in time. If it is available, if for some reason we were to get power for however that would be done, that would be amazing. But I'm going to have to more or less state right now, the odds are it'll just be the mini putt.
So just the mini
Yeah,
putt.
just the mini
But
putt.
nothing else. So the shack is completely gone.
Yes, the nerve
Any
center.
other part of the business damaged by the fire?
No, surprisingly, no. I have to state and I have to compliment the firefighters. I mean, I thought for sure, you know, holes 1, 18, 17, and a few other ones would have ambers and, you know, burn marks on the different carpets. But no,
Nothing was touched.
No,
than
not
the
at
trailer?
all. I was just baffled. I go, wow. So when they received the call, they got there pronto.
They got there pronto and
I think they
extinguished the flame.
I think they took the free games though. Sorry, they got there and they took all the free games. No, they got there early to do their
Hey,
job.
kid,
Right.
laugh a bit there,
Yeah,
kid.
Yeah,
John's
come on, it was
cracking
a
up.
good one.
He's trying to remain serious. We don't have very many
No,
serious
no.
topics on this show. I'm cracking a few
Well, we're
jokes,
having some
but
fun.
You got
But
it.
no, if you're going to take a good from this bad, the flames, you know, the trailer's gone, but the actual grounds and the mini
Yeah,
pot
the grounds
courses,
and the courses.
carpets are
there's
all
a little
good
bit
to
of
go.
yes. There's a
Once you
little
get
bit of
power.
ash. We'll get everything cleaned up. Some of the deck had damage, but you know we'll
Like
make
where
sure.
your barbecue area was?
Yeah, just on where the steps where you enter it up to the building. Obviously, some of that got damaged, and we got lots of work to do to get things proper, but that'll take time. And but we can open, just to say, hey, we are there, we are open, not going anywhere. It's like the phoenix, we're going to rise from the ashes even better. But this time, you, the public, are really helping me out. I'd like to thank Mel Benoit for the GoFundRaise Me. I can't believe the numbers that I'm seeing at the moment.
Pretty close to almost, I think, $5,000.
I know,
right
it's
now.
like, wow.
It's unreal.
And one thing we'll make sure of is I always have to do something every year, and whoever takes it over the years, as a memory to the community, stepping up, not just saying with words, but I mean actually willing to help and or dollars to make sure it remains in the community. Because we do not have a lot of little individual things that we can all do and create memories with. So in my own way, I'll be mulling it over. How do I give back? Because I'm a big believer in paying it forward. It's just not take, right? It's about good guys like yourselves, allowing me to have a place to voice my message and my concerns and all that. And another thing with the GoFundMe, it is, how can I say, I've had some people saying, is it for real and all this and that. Yes, it is. It's legit. There are different ways, though. If you're interested in helping out, you can do it through e-transfer. The address would be theminiput@hotmail.com. I'll spell it out because it's important that the spelling is correct. Hopefully Ron will display it on the screen for you.
Yeah.
TheMiniput@hotmail.com. That is the correct email address. It's an auto deposit. So please, if you're unsure, give me a direct call or KINZ and KLOMP and or to the people, and we'll make sure you get the correct email address for that. And I'm wanting to make sure everything's documented, that there's no questions. So I'm not really looking for cash donations. I don't want that. I want it to all be through proper methods here.
Right.
Through the GoFundRaise Me and or, like I said, the email transfer. And or, you drop by balls and putters or any other things that would make the business go. That's greatly appreciated too. And when we're all back up and running, we'll have a big thank you to everybody.
All right.
So if you're just joining us, so Don is hoping to be reopened this weekend.
Yeah, by this Saturday.
Hopefully by Saturday. And they'll have a makeshift shed or somewhere where you can go in and purchase your rounds of mini putt, get your putter and balls. And the second thing is, Ronnie will post your number again. And a lot of people completely generous, by on all means willing to help out. I seen even a couple mentions of generators, people willing to come help build, putters, balls. People are, it's just awesome. And so that's Don's phone number, Ronnie. We'll get you to put it up there for a couple seconds.
Put it up there
if you don't.
again there, Ron.
And you can get in contact with Don, and he can, help guide you. But,
Absolutely.
I got to think the most awesomest thing is like people just saying, I've known Don for a long time. He's done all these
Well, they've got a lot
amazing
of history
things.
with you.
Yeah.
As you said, you've been doing
Absolutely.
this since '88.
I know, it's like, okay,
1988.
just one more year. Okay, maybe another couple of years.
But you have so much fun doing this.
It's not a type of a career that you get tired of it, because it's the people that make it and make it interesting. every time I see somebody else's smiles, whether it's the kids and or the parents, and they're smiling because we're good to the kids. And I have to give a shout out to my staff.
Yeah, your staff's amazing.
It is
It's the
really
Arlene's of the world that
Yeah,
help you out
Arlene
there.
is
Yeah,
fantastic.
she's fantastic with my boys every time.
Mike Benoit, he's my groundskeeper, and you know, you always hope to get some good staff, but when you get staff that take it personal and actually want to be there, then I had some students this year, Alicia. We have, I'm trying to remember their names now. They're going to get mad at me. Geez, I'll get back to you, I'm sure, and I'm sure I'll hear from you.
Yeah. Well, that's right. But you have an awesome team there,
Yes.
and you know that always. I'm with everyone else. I always have an awesome time there, especially when I crush Mark because he goes over.
That's
crying.
it. He
Cries in
is
the
so
parking
he's
lot.
so competitive. He'll,
Well, a win's a win, kids.
That's
Come
it.
on now.
Always goes a win for a win.
But I think that's great news. So if you're when you're like you said, it's safety first. Once it's safe for people to come to the mini putt, you're going to open. You're going to make that announcement to post on the Facebook page. I know we'll share it, but social media is sort of the place to go to find out whether you're going to be open this weekend.
Yes, I would think so, because it's easy for me to do a quick post through you guys and or my page and or just general in Facebook. I can't believe how fast the information shares when people care and or are very interested in a certain topic.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how fast. So that would be the best way to do it.
Well, we need, you know, I'm not going to break any grounds when I say we need some positives in our community.
Right.
It's easy to focus on the negatives, but the mini putt's a big positive thing in our community. And something that's just fun that most people love mini putt.
Most people.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't even have to
I
be
would-
good at mini
Yeah.
putt to enjoy a round. It's a quick game of golf.
You would know,
and
kids
again,
would-
it's a fun. No, come on. I beat you once.
That's right.
There's no record
don't
of it
have to
though.
be
So
good.
did it really happen? Right?
Oh,
He cheated. He had the eraser on the scorecard.
Is that
pencil.
why?
that's why we had to go to Pens.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had to be.
That's
he
the
had to
thing,
be legit.
yeah, that's right.
But you know, I want to go back, Don. There was questions on helping you rebuild. Now it's a trailer that was there, and you
Correct.
said you have maybe an offer for someone donating a trailer to you.
Well, there could be a potential for it. I'll find out tomorrow. It was a previous client, came up there many, many years. And like I say, when people enjoy themselves, he was always with his group of buddies. And, and as he moved on in life, he didn't really drop by as much, but he was busy doing things, but it was dear to his heart. And when I hear stuff like that, I'll just tell everybody just a little story why it blows my mind. I had a gentleman call me, and he says, Mr. Marcoux, he says, I just have to say thank you. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, great, thank you. But then he gave me the story. He was new to Timmins. He was questioning even being here anymore because he says it's just, he was a bit disappointed, but he says, here you are. I was on a date, I believe he was, and stated, and that I was just really decent with him. Gave him a few extra free tokens for the batting cage, and just very pleasant. Nothing special, just who I am, trying to be decent to people. And he says, that changed my whole viewpoint. And the gentleman, I believe his name was Tom, I said, once again, if you need any help. And it's just those little things that reinforce to me, geez, we have such an awesome community, decent people. I've always been a believer in that. Yes, sometimes we're going through a hardship right now in the community. But having said that, we are an awesome community. We can come together and we can help other people out. We never know what life throws at us, as I found out again here. So, we have to, sometimes we just can't look at the negativity. There's good in everybody. And we have to remember that. Good in everybody. So let's keep all positive on, even if this was a bad situation, still we find out that occurred for the fire here at the building. Still, we have to be positive. Nothing's perfect in life. Nobody was hurt. And actually, and as Mark and Jamie are saying, out of a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I write a lot of songs about, reality, government, climate, all kinds of things.
Yeah, well, good.
My
He's got a
music is
wild.
not usually love song, mushy music.
He does well. You got to throw in a ballad once in a while.
A sad
Well,
rain
that's for
ballad.
sure. Yeah, I used to do a lot of acoustic stuff that I have recorded from 10 years ago or so. So I did a lot of ballads then.
John wants to know if
No, not true, not true, not true.
he's not coming to the total eclipse party.
When
they
I
said the
think
party's
you hear about this, Jamie.
Oh, at Frankie's house. Yeah.
No,
We're
not true,
staying
not
at the
true.
We're staying at the Holiday Inn, I believe. I've learned that already. Right, Frankie?
Yeah, we'll be headed out for that. It'd be good.
Jamie, you're doing great so far.
Yes. Wait, we're having an amazing time. I got to check in on Brandon again because I feel like it's getting darker by the moment where you are.
Yeah, the raindrops are getting a little bigger. The sun's kind of peeking through here, so we can see the very dark clouds of this thunderstorm. We're actually surrounded by thunderstorms. We got one in the front yard, another one in the backyard. So we're gonna see which one we're gonna hit first.
Oh, he's got dual. That's called dual action in the weather
That's
world.
it.
I don't
That's
know.
it.
Yeah. So would you go, Brandon? If there would happen to be a funnel cloud, would you get it right out there with your phone or video camera, or camera, whatever you have, and start recording? Is that something you would do right away?
Of course I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a report as well. So if it does reach the ground, then our friends in Environment Canada can issue the tornado warning. You know, that's how sometimes you get warnings issued. Sometimes,
Yeah.
if it gets spotted.
It does look pretty wild.
It does.
Yeah, it does look pretty wild in there. And he did give you the great.
Not true, not true, not true. That guy's telling lies. Not true.
Yeah. He says it's not true to John, but John, yeah.
Now there's no party at Frankie's house, but the eclipse is happening.
In your room at the Holiday Inn, there's a party. Mark Kinsman's room, there's a party. We'll all go there, Frankie.
What about Brandon Helk?
Oh yes, I'll bring the fun weather with me.
Yes.
What about
Yeah.
Julian Lee?
Get to see all your weather gurus all in one city.
Well, and the other night too, I seen Frankie. You were out singing or karaoke or on a stage or something like that.
Yes, it was great so far.
Where were you?
And that means I was at Steel City on Wednesday nights and Dooley's on Saturday nights.
Yeah, Frankie likes to hit the town. Nothing wrong. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Rain
when
off
we're
the-
maybe
It's a
when
lot of
we're
heavy
down,
rain in Sydney.
maybe when we're down there, Frankie, you could show us those spots.
Total solar eclipse Monday, April 8, 2024. And the compound media is coming to Sydney next year too.
He's got
Everybody
we have that booked in our
coming to the city.
calendars.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a spectacular show. How often do these eclipses happen?
Once in a lifetime, Monday, April 8, 2024. That's once in a lifetime event.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is why it's such a big deal, and we're going to go down there,
helmet.
and we'll be able to meet. Hopefully, we'll be able to meet Brandon down there because I really would like to look at like some of Brandon's footage that he has from all the wild weather he's seen. How many videos and photos do you think you got, Brandon, throughout the years of collecting weather reports and data and all that?
I have easily 2,000 photos on my phone here. So
Yeah,
Lots.
just on the phone.
And about 500 from tonight's thunderstorm.
yeah,
But I don't know if we're going to see a funnel tornado on the show because it looks like it's the skies are parting now.
A little bit. Well, we actually, we're starting to pick up the rain now, getting into the steam of things. We might get one maybe right under this cloud here. Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Well, we had a rainbow
usually
the other day, and that was big excitement in our community.
Not big.
Yeah, I seen about 500 posts on my timeline,
That's it.
including
Or
me.
it was the double rainbow.
Well, did we get that excited?
I think so.
We had a
There was
double.
People
Yeah.
posting the double pick there.
So that's how wild the
I
weather
found
gets.
out my real best friend Monica Beaulieu still lives in Bonaventure, Quebec. Monica's also getting a lot of rain as well.
Okay, in Quebec, they're getting a lot of rain. What's the weather? Open a peek in our window right now, there, Kinsman.
We've got
sun.
sunshine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a nice evening here, sun setting
Yeah.
here in Timmins.
We got it. We got you call it boring weather, but boring weather is good weather.
That's it.
Sunny and what? 15.
Sunny, 15. It's
Yeah.
not too warm, but heating up for the weekend, which is perfect.
That's right.
People head to their camps and cottages.
Yeah, they're awesome. All right, Frankie, let people know. I love when Frankie does this. Let people know where they can find you on social media.
My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDonald984. My Clapper is FrankDonald984. My Twitch is FrankDonald984. My Snapchat is Frankie AMECDON. My YouTube channel is Dogs Wolves. In my link, it's Frankie McDowell. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie McDowell. You're listening to KINZ and KLOMP Podcast.
All right.
Appreciate.
We love you, Frankie.
I don't even know all our handles, and
And
Frankie's
if you want to order my bobblehead, Cowboy Frank Del bobblehead, go to National Bobblehead Hall of Fame. I sent you a link.
All right.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
We're going to buy one, and we're going to put one on our main table here
we're gonna
in
put
our
that-
studio, and we're
Yeah.
going to still try and find your cardboard cutout. It's been in Washington all summer. It's got to come here to Northern Ontario. We're going to get it out here.
Heck yeah. And Brandon, by the way, Brandon has a whole bunch of followers on, at least on Facebook.
Well, I'd be following him too. If
Yeah,
there's
he's got awesome
severe
stuff.
weather, you know, who are you going to follow? Brandon. And again,
yeah.
they probably follow you for your exact weather updates, don't they, Brandon?
Oh, yes, I think so. Yeah, we just got issued a weather advisory for funnel clouds here. So it's
So here you are. You're in right in the thick of
Part
it.
now.
Yeah, that's right. I guess someone who's into the weather, like sometimes you never sleep because these wild storms could happen at any time.
I had a 2-engine transport airplane they developed and were testing at Wright-Patterson, Ohio, floating people around doing more aerospace medicine type testing of human subjects. But we were testing fluid systems like the cooling system for the SNAP 8 nuclear power generator. We tested tank configurations and for screens ultimately used in the Centaur rocket, those sorts of things. Interesting, Lewis was a starting place for several other of my friends that ended up in the space program in different ways. One was Neil Armstrong, the person who landed first on the moon on Apollo 11. He started his career at Lewis, then moved to Edwards Air Force Base, flying the X-15 before applying and becoming an astronaut at Johnson Space Center, which was then Manned Spacecraft Center. But Joe Bensel, who was later head of flight operations at Edwards NASA facility in California, Joe Agrani, who moved on to Langley and then to Houston, was in charge of flight operations, trying to upkeep the T-38 aircraft that I flew later when I became an astronaut. So a number passed through Lewis on their way into either Space Task Group or NASA Johnson Space Center for the Apollo program. But after 3.5 years at Lewis, I followed Neil Armstrong's trail and applied, had an opening and went to Edwards Air Force Base, which was kind of the premier aircraft flight test operation for NASA at the time. So I transferred to there and was there 3.5 years. Flew a number of test programs, supported the X-15 program, but unfortunately, I never got to fly the vehicle. I was moving into the office. I was the junior person. 3 others at the time. I was very envious of my boss, Joe Walker, Jack McKay, and Mill Thompson in the office were all flying the X-15 at the time I arrived, and so I was jealous of them. But I flew other types of programs. But for the X-15, I'd fly weather flights the morning of launch, or check the upper range lake beds, or fly chase on X-15 launch days. So I had that involvement, but never quite got into the cockpit of the X-15. I'm sad to say. But after 3.5 years, realizing, just looking at the time frame and where the X-15 program was, I was still 2 ahead of me in the office in seniority, and it kind of went that way that you would get your turn. So I realized I would probably not get to ever fly the X-15 if I stayed at Flight Research Center, it was known as at that time. And so I thought hard about applying to be an astronaut. So a new selection had come up, requests for volunteers, candidates. And I had to think real hard about that because I looked at what I was doing, and I was flying about 8 or 9 different aircraft during that time period, and different programs, smaller programs, test programs, as a prime pilot for the program, or an evaluation pilot, what we called other people we brought in to verify our findings and handling qualities, for instance, and that particular aircraft. And done a lot of flying almost every day. And I called, didn't call, but Neil Armstrong visited us at Flight Research Center. And Don Malik and I, another fellow pilot, cornered Neil and asked him, what's it like being an astronaut? And Neil said, well, you sit in a lot of meetings, you sit in a simulator a lot, and there's not much good flying. So that was Neil's impression that he left with us. And of course, the kind of flying I was doing was what he was talking about, the good flying. So I had to think hard for a short while there to think, should I really join the astronaut program? And of course, I knew I'd be way down the lineup of when I might get to fly. But I decided finally, if I'm going to go higher and faster, that's probably what I need to do. So I signed up and was selected in the group known as the original 19. 19 of us were chosen in that group. Went through a training program, which is customary for the rookies joining the program that was supposed to last a little over a year. And because of the busyness and schedule and the needs for help in various ways, our training really was curtailed, started getting curtailed at about 7 or 8 months. And I got a first crew assignment, a support crew assignment to Apollo 9. What at the time it was called Apollo 8. And it was asked by Jim McDivitt, who was the commander to fly that the mission, to go to Grumman Aircraft, New York, where the lunar modules had been designed and were being developed and now in manufacturing. It's showing up on the high bay floor to be tested and ready to go to Kennedy Space Center to fly. And he said his instructions were simple: to go to Grumman and make sure I got a good limb to fly. As it turned out, I worked through that for almost a year. And in fact, in chapter 2 in a book I've written a little over a year ago is much about that time at Grumman, and getting the limb ready for Jim McDivitt. But along the way, probably after that year, I got my first real mission assignment. I was assigned as the backup lunar module pilot to Apollo 8 at the time. It was thought to be. Or 9, I'm sorry, 9 at the time was thought to be, which is going to be the second mission in Earth orbit with a lunar module, the second one that would fly. And as a result of the fire that we lost the crew on the launch pad and the reshuffling after that to try to hold schedule, NASA made a very bold step and deciding we would go to the moon early, but only with the command module, not with the lunar module. And so our flight, which I thought was Apollo 9, became Apollo 8. So I had actually moved a mission ahead because Jim McDivitt wanted to stay with the first testing of the lunar module in Earth orbit. So sort of mission names got swapped. And I was on the backup crew on Apollo 8 with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. We were the backup crew for Apollo 8, which was The commander was Borman. And so anyway, that was the toughest training cycle I had, and four missions I trained for, because of that switch. Because for 2 months, almost 2 months, we were training for this mission. It was a high altitude rendezvous mission in Earth orbit with a lunar module. And when they shifted it now to the go to the moon first, it was a starting over again. And you only had 6 months to train. Up through Apollo 11 and starting with Apollo 7, we launched every 2 months. So basically, when you got assigned a mission on a 3-mission cycle, you had 6 months to get ready, period, because the rocket was going to launch, whether you were ready or not. So that really put us into a bind on completing the training. Then we had to revamp, and the flight plan we had to revamp. All those kind of things had to be redone now that we're going to the moon. And so that was the toughest training cycle I had of all the missions from the standpoint of the time available. And particularly since my role now as a lunar module pilot, which I knew very well. I knew the lunar module backwards and forwards from that almost the year I'd spent at Grumman testing them. And here I was now going to only fly in the command module, which I knew nothing about. So that was a big learning curve for me to get ready to feel competent to back up Bill Anders, who I was backing up on that mission. But anyway, the mission, as you know, was a highlight, and obviously the first time humans had left Earth and went to another planetary body to visit the moon, in this case.
Well,
are you picking up our accent? Are we rubbing off on you?
Y'all.
I don't know.
Well, they say y'all. You say a lot of A's now.
A, okay, I'll say A.
A.
Is that an A or an
Yeah.
EH?
E-E-H.
A or A.
A.
So
Hey.
when we met Danny last weekend, not only is he a great storyteller, which I was second impressed with, my first impression, what I loved the most with how positive and outgoing and amazing of a person Danny is. Never We're getting some sort of a phone in the back. I think it's the space station calling Danny
the
back.
space
Or the
station?
Klingons are invading. I
But
don't know.
Is that your phone in the back there?
That could be, but yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. Danny's busy for the next hour.
Danny has such a great story about where he came from in his business and so many awesome products, which I'm bringing out to camp this weekend. But let's kick it off here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what we do down on the Rocket Ranch at Danny's Rocket Ranch.
Yeah, Danny's Rocket Ranch.
I spent 36 years as an educator in Colorado and New Mexico. 31 years ago, I started taking kids to a place called Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama. Since that time, I've taken 550 kids from the Ute Nation in southwestern Colorado and northwestern New Mexico. So we got 500 kids who've gone through the camp. And one of the things that we found is raising money, because it does cost. Canadian right now is about $3,500 Canadian to go to camp. It's a week-long camp. But I've seen what it does for our kids. And when I decided to retire, I wanted to dedicate the rest of my life, start a company that we could produce dehydrated space foods, and 10% of the profits will go for space camp scholarships. And I'm really excited to be up here for the Stardust Festival, because next time we're up here, we're going to give away a trip to space camp to some young,
How awesome
lucky
is
young
that?
person here in Timmins area.
Yes,
And it's just exciting, And being now I'm rebranded myself as a space food entrepreneur, space food and drink
Very
entrepreneur.
tasty entrepreneur.
And they're quite tasty. But I'll get to that. So the way the story it goes is, as I would take kids to space camp, I would make fresh salsa, and then we'd sit around the pool at the Marriott next door to space camp. And when everything shut down at about 10 o'clock, we'd bring the cases of coolers out, and we'd have the fresh salsa. So we'd sit in the dark and eat chips and salsa. And inadvertently, someone would say, "Danny, you ever thought about marketing your salsa?" And I go, "No, there's always tons of salsa out there." So fast forward to 2018. Now the covert party by the pool had become an official party with high price drinks. And so I was sitting there. We did the same thing, brought the salsa, talked to people, have some adult beverages, have chips and salsa. And then someone would say, have you ever thought about doing that, selling this as a product? I say, no, there's tons of salsas out there. A little while later, a few more chips and salsa, some adult beverages. I started thinking. And I turned to one of my astronaut friends saying, I said, Dottie Metcalf Lindenberger, who was a fellow teacher from Fort Collins, Colorado. And I said, hey, Dottie, you think the folks on the station would like my salsa? And her eyes get this big and she goes, oh, they would love your salsa. So that put so a little more chips and salsa. And sometimes you get loud. Your hearing goes sometimes when you consume alcohol, and you start talking loud and go, "Hey!" So I asked my friends around. I said, we're down here every year raising money for our scholarship program, Space Camp Hall of Fame. I'm a member of the Space Camp Hall of Fame. So we raise money every year to send kids, deserving young kids, no matter where they are, to come to Space Camp for a week, and it changes their lives. So I said, okay. I'm going to go home, think about this, and try to come up with something that we can sell nationally, that we can raise a lot of money, help more kids go to space camp. So I went home, and after 9 months of trial and error, first of all, I said, it's got to be spacey. It's got to be spacey. It can't be another salsa, because you'll have A salsa, B salsa, C salsa, D salsa, blah, blah, blah. So what I did, let's make it spacey. Let's make it dehydrated, just like the food back in the Apollo age, where you just add water, mix it up, and you have it.
And you have food.
So after 9 months, now this is the mild version. We have,
Let's hear
this
let's
is
see
Danny's
that.
Rocket Ranch mild salsa. It has a lot of flavors, not very hot. But this is the lowest heat level. We have a Martian Spicy Original, which was the first one that we started, and then the hot version. So we had a salsa.
Okay.
So we brought it. It was funny. The next year, I snuck it in, and we put it. We had usually a breakfast line, so the salsa's out there. People just pour it on there, pouring on there. And when we came back and had breakfast together, I said, somebody said, how'd you like the salsa? And people, oh yeah, it's pretty good salsa this way. I said, so they directed me. It says, Danny has invented a salsa that we can sell. We helped raise money for a space camp. So that's how it started. So then we started with the original salsa, a mild salsa, and a hot salsa. But if you're going to have salsa and chips, you have to have a beverage. And you could probably you want to have an adult beverage, you can. So I started figuring things out and thinking about things. And he said, what goes with chips and salsa? Margaritas.
Yes.
So we developed a dehydrated margarita mix. And all you do is add water, tequila, and ice. You put it in like a 32-ounce water or a 500 milliliter, 1 liter bottle. I got to remember where I am here. I can convert because I am a rocket scientist. So put this in here, 10 ounces of water. I don't know how that converts. I'll have to go milliliters. I'm sorry. But you put one of these, a couple of cups of ice, shake it up. You have a liter of margaritas.
Or Marzaritas.
Marzaritas.
Right.
Thanks a lot for
I want to hold you there because I want to tell people here, because if you're watching at home and you're going, well, you know what, maybe I'll never be in space, not going to need it. This is camping premium.
Yeah, this is camping
awesome
gear
stuff.
right here.
Never mind bringing, a big glass. Well, you bring nothing when you come to my house, Kinsman. But
I bring an empty Bubba and I fill it
that's
up.
right. But never mind bringing like a big glass thing of salsa that's going to break. The salsa, I know we're on to the awesome drinks, but this is the package you bring, and right on the back, mix with hot water.
That's it.
Isn't it a beautiful
Find
thing?
hot water, you got instant salsa, and again, look how those neat little packs, you can pack them all into a suitcase
and we should
or a
say,
bag and bring them out
Ronnie's
camping
going to link you to Danny's Facebook page. We can find out a whole ton of awesome stuff they're doing, including the space camp. So sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to tell people, because it's camping season coming here, the last camping weekend for us. So listen, look at this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful
And look how
thing.
big it's rolled quite thin. A little packet weighs 2 ounces. And it fits in any of your pocket. You'll forget that it's there. But all you have to do is add the alcohol in the water. And if you're out camping, if you don't happen to have ice, just set it out at night, because at night, it almost froze the other night. So you'd have a nice slushy breakfast drink here. Or if you don't put any alcohol in it, it makes a great drink. It actually this has some electrolytes in it. So it's like a Gatorade. So it's a dual-purpose drink.
So people who hike would take those with them and
yeah,
probably benefit from that.
I have friends that will come purposely to buy this, and they always say, tell everyone to buy 2. And I said, well, why is that? I said, well, I was out in the bush, I mixed up my one, I liked it so much I wanted another one, but realizing I didn't have another one. So
you get your backups.
You're going to need more. And Nakamash Berry, she runs owns the bowling alley here,
Midtown
like an
Bowl
amazing
here. Yes.
community supporter. She was saying she loves your coffee because she was at the Stardust Festival, and says it's a great idea for backpacking.
That too.
Like easy peasy, right?
Schools go on hiking trips. Get in touch with.
Well, we're going to get to. I know we're getting excited. We're going to get to the coffee. But we're on the good drinks right here.
Well, Margarita was getting kind of lonely, so I made Tangerita to go along with it. This is an orange. You can add vodka, same thing. Add this to a
just add a little vodka.
Let's add a little vodka, and this tastes tastes very good. It is almost dangerous because it goes down very, very smoothly. So.
These Marzaritas are going down pretty good here now. We're 5 deep.
Kinsman's about 5 minutes away from looking like my bachelor party night.
Not that bad, but they are tasty. If anybody's wondering, it's almost similar to cracking open a Smirnoff from the LCBO. We call them LCBOs up here. Liquor stores down south.
Yeah. I'm sure. I think they have a couple.
We probably got a couple. I know in Colorado we have 1,600 of them. And I got to try to visit them all. I don't know, not this year.
Well, they need to start adding these packets into, as they say, the compulsive buying aisle.
This will probably not surprise you, but I am a margarita drinker. And believe it or not, the best margarita I ever had is at Lone Star. It's a chain restaurant. I love their margaritas.
The 72-ounce steak
challenge
they have there.
Danny. No, I know. Sure. Danny's topped them. This is good.
This is good. Yeah, the Marzarita. And again, Ronnie's put the link into our comment thread. Go there and you can buy your packets. And again, if you purchase, you're going to help some little undeserving kids go to Space Camp.
Well,
and again, if they haven't seen it, go watch that movie, Space Camp.
Let's chat about the Space Camp before we get into more of these awesome products, because you've had such an amazing life, a teacher for multiple years.
Yes.
And then always passionate about space, rolling into space camps.
Indeed.
Tell us a little bit about. I've never had the fortunate opportunity to go to a space camp. I wish I did, and maybe we still go visit Danny Will. What do you experience when you go to space camp?
They literally put you in space. Actually, not really put you in space, but in simulators.
Okay.
They have, what they'll do is no person gets out there. The astronauts are only the peak of what you see visibility. They need thousands of people to make sure that they're okay, because space is hard. Space tries to kill you every second of the way. Now, it's a little side here, but that's why I started the products, because if space is trying to kill you and you take your EVA suit, you're going to want to let your hair down and relax and have chips and salsa and a beverage. Yeah, so that's kind of the tongue-in-cheek or the light way to go, because again, I don't want to be redundant, but space is hard. Space tries to kill you, so they do everything not to get killed. So I'm trying to be morbid, but that's why they have to make sure that on the rocket launches they have people on them. They have one little glitch goes on, they stop it, because they don't want that possibility. Because there's always that possibility they haven't checked something. So that's the point. So they put you in simulators, mission control. They'll put you on the station. They'll put you in Falcon 9 rocket, or a Dragon, or an old Apollo, or actually it's
like
Orion.
The G-force tester.
Oh yeah, they got a G-force that'll get you about 3 Gs, and they have a space shot, which is a weightless simulator. You get about like a second of zero gravity. They shoot you up and then drop you. Of course, they have all the artifacts, and of course, team building. They break the kids up to 12 to 15 students, and they assign them roles. And they usually run 2 missions where they can be on a different part. They can be on the station or a part of mission control, and they role play. And the counselors throw anomalies at them. They throw some things at them. They say, "Oh, you better, they better check this gauge. We're losing oxygen. How are we going to fix this?" So they're always making them think on their feet. And that's one aspect that we have to do with children these days, because again, you have your cell phone, boom, 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 instant information. So you're privy to that instant information. So you must make those decisions quickly. So our educational system, probably in Canada the same as U.S., it moves like the Titanic, very slowly. But we're going to need those kids to be like in the speedboats, to be able to change directions quite quickly. So the thinking process, and it may not necessarily be the knowledge, but we're going to have them to think on their feet. They can get the knowledge. They can get on the computer. They're going to have internet and space also, so they can come up with them. And if you have 3 or 4 people working the problem, they can figure it out pretty quick because their life depends on it. So they learn the history about space flight, but again, it's about team building, trusting the person on your team to help you get through the mission, because they're going to throw the counselor are going to throw anomalies at you. But they live
in different scenarios.
They eat, drink, and eat space for a whole week. And
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
awesome.
And you guys can go, well,
Yeah.
we could make some.
Well,
we can
Can we make some
arrangements.
arrangements? We'll do the show from Colorado.
We even seen Trisha come on 35, and I want to go. And you're never too old.
Never too old to learn
explore.
something new. No.
So the space camps, are they ran out of your ranch? Are they close by? Like where in proximity?
This is the space camp in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, this is the big space.
This is the big space camp.
So you have an association with them,
Yes.
in which you make these awesome products to help kids that maybe families couldn't necessarily afford
Yes.
to send their children to camp. Oh, I got it.
So Danny's Rocket Ranch has a scholarship fund at the space camp.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So we
Very cool.
so we can contribute there and
Yeah.
give out scholarships. But yeah, that's the big one. You can go on spacecamp.com. It is one awesome place. And also it's for boys and girls who want to be fighter pilots. They have another side to it called Aviation Challenge. So they put them in high resolution simulators. It's very humbling to get, as an adult, you get in the simulators and you have a 10-year-old boy or girl just shoot you out of the sky. You don't even get off the runways. So, and they'll just giggle at you like it's something else. So.
Isn't that amazing? Because, we have local programs here like Sports for Kids Timmins that help, families that are just meeting their needs to get by or maybe even struggling, help them play activities. And it feels like you're doing like the same thing. And that to me is an amazing way to get back to the community, because teaching throughout the years, obviously you've met many different children throughout your career, like teaching them, growing up the education system, and you've seen people with all different revenue streams.
Yes.
And every child, hey, as cliche as it sounds, I honestly believe this, every child at least deserves the opportunity, if they choose to go, to follow their passions, whether it's sports, space camp, drama, music, whatever it is.
Well, I remember Krista McAuliffe. Krista McAuliffe was the teacher who we lost in the Challenger. And her big line that she said, I touch the future, I teach. And teachers teach all the rest of the jobs. So we hope to inspire, and my goal is to inspire the next generation of space explorers. And there's a place for every single person in space. I never believe, entertainment. Somebody said this last week. Someone's got to cut the hair on a mission.
Right.
We're going to have hair barbers, hairdressers. So there's a position for everybody. One of the coolest things, the last bunch of astronauts, they picked a lady from Wasilla because she was a minor to be in the next group of astronauts. So there's everything you could possibly think of, and you push hard enough. If you want in your heart, you open the universe conspires to help you. So, if you have to eat, drink, and ask people. There are people who want to be mentors, want to help, because all the engineers are getting older. You see a lot of gray hair. Look at this gray hair. Not going to tell you how old I am, but I got to file for Medicare this year. So. but in my heart, I feel like I'm 12 or 14 again.
Sure, yeah.
We go to space camp, and I love seeing those kids. They put the little blue flight suit, and they're walking around like they know everybody's business. And that's the kind of kids you want to foster. And and it doesn't matter whether they do space camp. Kids aspire to play baseball and hockey. And so they got to foster that love. It starts from your love what you want to do, and it gets me up. It gets me up every morning, and I said, man, I'm making the best space salsa in the world to help kids go to space camp.
So you more than likely had to refurbish a port, maybe your kitchen at your ranch, in order to be like an industrial business type kitchen, like
down to code.
I turned it into a commercial kitchen.
Okay, commercial kitchen, yeah.
And because I'm just blending components, I don't have to go. It's not too drastic.
Okay.
It's got to make sure that it's clean. Has the 3 sinks and a washing station. And the funny thing about it was I needed a self-closing door on the bathroom. I don't know. Well, I guess you don't want to pull the Lord. You want to keep your hands clean.
Right.
You know, keep those hands clean. You know. but I've learned a lot. Being it's a steep learning curve when you try to develop a product. What I think I feel satisfied. I said I took an idea, and we turned it into a product. And it's just fun.
Yeah.
This is the first
it's awesome.
attempt to get international, and it's gone around the world. What's really fun is I have a lot of friends who take the packages and they'll take pictures in front of iconic places around the world. So we haven't started adding those yet to the website, but it's just about having fun.
That's a genius idea.
And people eating this amazing
I'm going to give
space
you
food. These are amazing.
I'm going to give you a picture of me eating the salsa at a camp this weekend.
You're going there tomorrow.
And then a picture of Kinsman's sleeping after his
after my margaritas.
Yeah.
We'll send it down. We'll send it down. You know, I would love to have a lot of followers on Danny's Rocket Ranch on Facebook, and I'll definitely put it on the Facebook that we do. We do nutty things there.
We'll definitely.
But I want to talk about like this also. Nat mentioned it briefly. So a coffee, and one of the things that I haven't tried this yet. But I heard, I'm super excited.
After the weekend.
You have like a Canadian style coffee. This is cool, Kinsman.
Well, it was Jason Michon. He's rapidly become a really good friend. He said, Danny, ever heard of a Canadian double-double? And I go, no, I haven't heard of a Canadian double-double. What is a Canadian double-double? He said, 2 creams, 2 sugars. So I took that and said, okay, how can I do this? So again, the process of, like I did the salsa, I picked up about 10 different freeze-dried coffees, and it would make measure it out throughout just a half batch because if you drink a lot of coffee, your heart starts going bum, 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 bum. So I got about 10 coffees, and then I ranked them. I drank just a little bit, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but I said this was clearly the one. It's a trade secret, and I said we're going to use this one. So then I said, okay, got that down here. But let's get good quality products. I don't want to have any of those creamers that have like 50 letters in their name and you cannot pronounce them.
Right.
The creamer that I have is whole milk powder,
right.
Cream powder. So it's essentially
easy ingredients.
Easy ingredients. So it's like powdered half and half. A good premium freeze dried coffee, cane sugar, and the secret is Canadian maple sugar.
I can't wait to try this.
Maple sugar.
So it gives a little different taste. So it's really good. It's rocket full.
Because I haven't in all the time, and I'm speaking to the campers because most of us do that here in Northern Ontario. It's nice to have a coffee by the fire, but I haven't ever had like what I would consider. It's just I'll drink whatever I want.
A good cup of coffee.
Yeah, and
we're tolerating coffee when it's camping.
I'm going to be bragging about this around the whole campground. Okay,
it's like hot mop water when you're out there at the campsite.
Yeah,
right?
but now Danny's come to my rescue, and I'm saving it for camp. I wanted to try it before Danny came on, but I'm like, I got to try it by the fire. I got to go Canadian style, and I'll let you know my review after. But
it's going to be out of this world.
Oh my God! You want to tell your buzz joke? It was pretty good.
That's right. We're having some margaritas. We're all going to be feeling buzzed Aldrin.
He's really proud of that one. It's not bad.
No.
For Kinsman.
No. You can feel free to use that one down.
I will. I love to go farmers market. The best piece about this job is meeting people, and now again from across the world. So I set up at the farmers market and with my spacesuit on, and I go, want to try some space salsa? It's out of this world.